Streetz 94.5, Ferrari Simmons.
Yes, man, I'm the young one, FlyGuyDC.
Hey, man, one of our partners is in here. Please introduce yourself, sir.
Isaac Hayes III. What's up?
What's up, man?
Hayes III.
What's going on?
What's up, man?
What's the word?
It's a blessing to have you in here, first and foremost.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Glad to be here.
I like to say my ideals and my morals are actually aligned with a lot of the things you say.
Okay.
I agree with you, I would say 99% of the time.
What's the 1% you don't agree with?
I actually can't remember. I don't want to bring it up at the moment, but I can't remember. I think it might have been the Jordan thing.
Oh, maybe. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, I
But
actually agree with him on the Jordan thing.
But Jordan did, my thing was, Jordan, well, you know what? We'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
There's something very important going on right now.
Yes. A governor's race.
A
Yes.
governor's race in the state of Georgia.
Absolutely.
For the first time ever, right? Is it the first time ever?
First time that we have the potential to elect an African American
Female governor. And she's Democrat.
Yeah.
So it could be a blue state,
Yeah.
an African American governor, and a female.
Yes, indeed.
How important is this for the entire state of Georgia?
Extremely important. Like, voting matters, man. You got to register to vote, man, and we gonna need everybody to get out and vote.
This is the vote. This ain't for, hey, Keisha Bottoms, I love you. I love you, Keisha Bottoms. You know, this is not the Atlanta voting. This is for the state of Georgia.
Absolutely.
All the cities.
And you know, you can travel about 30 miles north, south, east, or west, and we ain't even supposed to be allowed in some of those places 20 miles, 30 miles south, north, south, east, or west in Georgia. You know that, right?
Exactly.
Some certain parts of Georgia, we
And get a little racial.
get a little very, what you doing around here, boy?
And tell us why this is super important for the
That's right.
culture, for the city, for the state of Georgia, just in general.
Well, first of all, like, number one, it's the first African American woman.
Absolutely.
So we really got to put our stamp on putting women in positions of power. I think I've increased the amount of success I've had in the last year by working with women, really almost exclusively. It really changed my life. So I understand the power of a woman in a position of power and what she can do. So.
Okay. I'd like to also include, I'd say, what was it, about a month ago, you made a statement that Atlanta needed to, actually, can you say it? About Atlanta and media.
Yeah, Atlanta doesn't really have what I call pop culture media, right? And what I mean by that...
Yeah, elaborate.
Elaborate.
Break it down for me, sir.
So, like, well, let me say this first and foremost. We talk about, like, sometimes white culture appropriating black culture, right?
Correct.
But in my opinion, Atlanta culture is appropriated by New York and LA. Meaning they control, you know, the infrastructure. They have the networks, the media platforms, right? Mm-hmm. But Atlanta has a culture that they make a lot of money off of. They make TV shows about Atlanta, reality shows about Atlanta. They make sitcoms about Atlanta. They make soap operas about Atlanta, right? But is the infrastructure actually in Atlanta? And on top of that, media-wise, we don't control our conversation. So the narrative about Atlanta is told from people that look outside their window in New York and LA.
And they don't live in Atlanta.
Right.
Now, how do you think Atlanta could get to that point to where it can compete with the LA or compete with the New York as far as media-wise?
Two things. I think we softball our artists down here. I think that we have a lot of love in our city, but New York and LA tend to ask the tough questions. So when somebody got to file for bankruptcy or somebody back on their child support or somebody owes somebody some money or something, they don't have a problem asking that person that question. And there's a way to ask it. You ain't got to be disrespectful, but there's also sometimes you got to ask the tough questions, because I know we all family down here, we all friends, but I think the journalistic element that goes into really what makes these programs very spicy, the other programs very spicy, because I'm cool with you, but I got to ask you this crazy question. And then secondly, I think the media aspect of it. New York and LA got decades of advantage on really filming their content and creating really dope, you know, content that can live on other platforms, on the internet, you know, in a digital space. And Atlanta has to get to doing that. And I see everybody starting to do it now, but really getting their media savvy. Because, I mean, Hollywood's a movie town. They've been doing this for 100 years, so they know.
We talked about that.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
So, absolutely.
What do you think about Tyler Perry and having his movie studios in Atlanta? Because that's his base. So he does shoot a lot of his movies and his TV sitcoms in Atlanta. Do you think that that's not highlighted enough?
Absolutely, it's not highlighted enough. A matter of fact, on one of the websites in Georgia, I can't remember what it is, but when they talk about like most productions, like Tyler Perry has produced the most content in the state of Georgia by anybody by far. But on the website, I think it's the Georgia Film website, they don't even list him as someone that's there intentionally, but he is he's filmed more content in Georgia than anybody, but he's intentionally left off. And Tyler is a trailblazer. And like I said, when you don't control the government, those types of things get left out.
Which brings us back to the governor.
Right. The governor's race. So definitely.
Okay.
Which is absolutely like crazy. But yeah, Tyler's a trailblazer. I mean, take this for instance. Tyler would never be able to purchase a movie studio in Newark and LA, an old military base. They wouldn't let him do it. Because he'd come in there and they look at him and they're like, no. You don't look like us for the most part, but in Atlanta,
that's that old money too out there.
Absolutely. But politics is power. Like when you control government, you control the decisions that are made. That's what makes Atlanta such a great place, because just by circumstance, white people aren't oppressed in Atlanta, Georgia.
Correct.
Right? And then by politics, neither are black people, because we write ourselves into the conversation.
Right.
You want to build this airport, we get to do half of it. You want to sell this, we get to do. When we want to build this, you want to build the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, we got to get some of that too. And you write yourself into the conversation. If you don't, you'll just get left out like blacks in any other city.
But do you think that? Let's get my bad, DC. I know you're about to say something. Do you think that because Atlanta has the highest population of African American people per square mile, like for example, what if New York had a high population of African American people per square mile? Would that then change the narrative in New York?
I don't think so, because again, it's about policy. And I always say this, like Atlanta got like an attitude that no other city has. There's an attitude that you have down here because you grow up seeing black doctors, dentists, lawyers. It's not just athletes and drug dealers and celebrities. There are people that are from all walks of life that are established. And when you grow up in a city like this, you walk around like you ain't about to tell me this. Yeah, like even it's normal. Like the civil rights movement. If Martin Luther King was not the one that was the civil rights leader, it would have been somebody else from Atlanta. Because Martin Luther King went to Washington High School.
Right.
He went to Morehouse.
Yep.
He lived in a middle class neighborhood, and he went to Ebenezer Baptist Church. So when those people got in those situations, when that racism was kicking in those small country towns, Mark could walk up in there like, you're not about to talk to us like this.
Right.
Like, I'm articulate, I'm smart,
I'm educated,
I know the law. You ain't about to run us up out of here. And that's what Atlanta does. That's why we carry ourselves in the way that we do.
Now, to take it back to politics and the governor and everything of that nature, just to stress how important it is, there's almost 4 million people who are unregistered to vote, and then there are 1.4 roughly million African Americans who are not registered to vote. So how can us as a community come together, or what can be done to help or gain more people to go register to vote?
Well, I think our influencers, the people that have their hands on the culture, really need to relay the message to their peers. So if you're a 20-year-old influencer, get your 20-year-old friends. If you're 30s, then get your 30-year-old friends. I'm 40. I'm in my 40s, so it's up to me to really convince, my people and my peers to vote, but everybody to get out there and vote and register to vote. There's a lot of tricks at play, because even in the state of Georgia, the Republican Party does a little slick stuff. Like if you don't vote for 3 years, the first 2 they put you on an inactive list. Like they put you inactive and you have to reactivate your vote. And if you don't, they pull you off altogether. So after the election with Donald Trump in 2016, they took 500,000 people off the voter roll that don't even know they might not be on it. So you need to even check to see if you on it. So really, it's just we got to relay that message, get our young people involved, because the decisions that are made affect jobs, they affect safety, they affect the environment, they affect all kinds of policies, especially statewide. We got this great film tax incentive that they make all these great TV shows and movies about, and we need to keep that going down here too. And the governor's race is key on that. Amazon might come here, and if they do, they might bring 50,000 jobs. So I think about that. Like employment, it's all that stuff is important, but if the other guy wins, if it isn't Stacey Abrams, Amazon's not coming here. Yeah,
Word. Now, you did do a post. I saw one of the posts.
Yeah.
Georgia cancels registration of more than 591,500 voters.
Absolutely. That's crazy. And so you got to check. You know what I'm saying? It's easy. You can go to the Secretary of State's website. And here's the thing, be mindful. The Secretary of State is the one who's running for governor. So the man that's in charge of elections is the guy running for governor. So if you don't think he gonna be pulling some tricks, you don't think he got some tricks up his sleeve to really make sure that he wins, on top of the fact that he got crazy ass Donald Trump doing what he does.
Lord Jesus.
On top of that, and Trump will be down here. Please believe he's gonna come down here and hold rallies for this dude. So be ready. We have to be ready.
Now to veer off topic a little bit, you also posted, I mean, all your posts seem to go viral, have a lot of feedback on it, and I mean, you post a lot of real stuff. Now, for all the people who don't know or haven't seen your post, you posted saying basically that Hollywood convinces everybody who's a star that they have to move to LA and everything of that nature for their career and everything of that nature. Can you please stress to people how and why that messes up things for you where you're at?
So growing up, right, all the movies that I saw were like Boys in the Hood, Do the Right Thing, New Jack City, Menace to Society, right? So Hollywood's interpretation of black people is just what they saw outside their window. So I'm gonna just look outside my window in New York and look outside my window in LA and make movies and TV shows and content about those people. But really, there's a whole sea of African American individuals in the South. That's the majority of the population. 55% of all the black people in the United States of America live in the South. So that's your audience. Only 10% of the black people in the country live in LA. Like live in California, not even LA, California. So California controls most of the message, but they only have 10% of the black people. So there's a lot of people that went out there, like my guy Spoken Reasons. I posted him because Spoken Reasons was really the first real viral internet star, and he went out to LA and lost all his momentum. He was from Florida.
No, I know exactly who he is.
Yeah, and it was making tons of money, and really what it is Hollywood convinces you that that's the place to be. But now, from a digital space, you don't have to go nowhere. Most of the social media stars are from Atlanta. Like all the ones that
all moved to LA or New York,
and they lose their momentum because they think that's where Hollywood is, and they tell you that the opportunity is there, but then they don't. They also gas you up to lock you in the system and slow your momentum down. So definitely,
and that rent too, because that rent about $5,000 a month.
Right, and you come back to Atlanta and be like, dang, I fell off.
But you want to stay in Beverly Hills.
Right, you want to party. You want to go to day parties all day long and post on the gram when you was really in your crib making $50,000 a month. So, be smart. Keep your butt in the A.
Now,
all right, go ahead.
Now, the Jordan post.
Oh, that's what I was going to get to. Now, listen, LeBron James.
Yeah.
That's my guy. That's your guys, everybody's guy. I'm glad that, one of the best, well, I'd say the best athlete, regardless of sport. I think he's the best athlete because you can actually put him on a football field and he'll probably be one of the best tight ends ever. That's just my opinion. But LeBron James, right?
Yeah.
He stands up against what he believes in. He stands up for what he believes in.
Absolutely. And
of course, we don't like Trump. We wouldn't even sit in front of Trump the whole nine.
Right.
Trump replies, and then he says, I like Mike. I was with you. I'm with you on that. Mike, you better reply.
Right.
But he did reply. And Mike don't ever reply to anything.
Yeah.
I'm just saying the fact that he actually replied and said that he does support LeBron James.
No. He didn't say LeBron James. He put his initials. He said
I support LJ.
It's two different things.
It's a few things. Number one,
go ahead.
The statement came from his publicist, not him. So
here we go. Damn.
And then he goes, I love what LJ's doing for his community, right? And the wording sounds like maybe either Mike's talking about LeBron's community in Akron, but if not, then it should say our community. Because we are black.
Damn, man. Damn, Joe.
We are black people. And I think we're at a point right now where my only issue with that post is Mike should be in the position that I'm not going to let Trump use my name to disrespect two other black men.
Because he is a billionaire and he is an owner of a team.
Right. But
Charlotte Hornets.
Right. And so my position is not that he had to jump out there and just jump into a fist fight, verbally with Trump or whatever. But I'm just saying, at the end of the day, don't use my name to disrespect two black men that are doing great things for our community and do your job as president. And that's all he had to say. And that's really what I was looking for. But it was so it was so out of the way. It was like, I don't really want to get into this. And we're at a point right now where we have to be competitive because I think Trump has turned politics into competition. The average person does not really understand politics or is intimidated by politics. So I say if I had a political IQ of 1 to 10, I'd give myself a 4, moving to a 5. I'm just learning, right? Yeah. So the average person is like a 1 or a 0.
If you're a 4 or moving to a 5, I'm a 2. I'm a -0, -20.
But I think most people are intimidated by politics. So what Trump does is he turns politics into wins and losses. He turns into competition. Do you want to beat these black people? Do you want to beat these Muslims? Do you want to beat these Mexicans or not? And we have to start having that attitude. Like, we want to win. We have to have a winner's mentality.
Because you know that if you do know, African Americans, we're actually a minority now. It used to be the Latino Hispanic.
Right.
They are more populated than we are now.
Absolutely.
That's crazy.
All right, but look, don't touch that dial, man. We will be right back with Mr. Isaac Hayes, man. Keep it locked right here when you got it at Streetz 945.
And Streetz 94.5, Ferrari Simmons.
Yes, man, I'm the young one, FlyGuyDC.
We are back with Mr. Introduce yourself again, sir.
Isaac Hayes the third.
Now, not to get too personal, but your dad,
Yes, sir.
very popular guy,
Legendary.
legendary.
Legendary
How,
Isaac Hayes.
how does it feel? Because of course your grandfather is number one.
Nope. Oh, yeah.
Isaac Hayes the
Yeah,
first,
Yeah.
and then your dad's Isaac Hayes the second,
Yeah.
and your third.
Yeah.
So how does it feel being the third, and what type of what do you get with being the third? What happened? Like, tell us something that happens to you normally when you're just out and about, being Isaac Hayes. the
People
third.
always just say, like, what you know about Isaac Hayes? So
To you?
yeah, to me. So I'm always laughing because this is like, I'll have a T-shirt on. I have one of my shirts on for it'll say "How about his soul" or Black Moses or something like that. And they're like, "What you know about the Isaac Hayes? You don't know about him?" I'm like, "Yeah, I don't." But it's always funny because people, the culture's still there. It's great to have the culture still there. So that's dope.
Now, back to what we was talking about before we went to break with the Michael Jordan and LeBron James thing. Now, for you, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
I am 43.
Now, you're 43, so which is a big gap from my generation. Who is the greatest of all time as far as a sports player in your mind?
As
far as basketball,
I'd say Jordan. Jordan is the GOAT. Jordan is the GOAT because he did it at a time when the rules in basketball were even different.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He did,
They can hand check.
Yeah, hand check, and then LeBron's physicality gives him an advantage that Jordan didn't have. So he's like a linebacker that plays basketball. I always say he's like Magic Johnson and Karl Malone in one person. Just a big body that can move the floor and strong though, and has a great, just super strong and can dribble. So I think the physicality of Jordan, the physicality of LeBron gives him a little bit of advantage when Mike was out there like just going crazy.
So do you think LeBron can ever surpass Jordan?
No.
Never?
No, I think he can surpass Jordan in other ways. I think he can surpass Jordan as a businessman. I think from a business perspective, he'll surpass Jordan. I already know that. I already know LeBron's going to surpass Jordan from a business perspective. I think he'll be an owner. I think he'll be a multi-billionaire.
He's about to hit the billion soon.
Right, and he's a young dude. LeBron's still in his early 30s, so
33.
Yeah, he's definitely hitting it. Michael's 50, and Jordan's going.
But again,
LeBron's gonna
Michael
be
had Michael kind of created the path because think about it, nobody really had the shoes like that before Michael.
Absolutely, I think Michael's a trailblazer. Like sometimes the person that invents the wave is always not the person that benefits the most from it. The person that kicks in the door doesn't usually reap the rewards, the most rewards. So I think Michael's a trailblazer, but in my mind, he's still just the GOAT because he invented the shoe game. Like he invented like sneaker culture to me. It was like it was without Jordans, what would it be? So definitely,
because we wasn't gonna buy them Converses.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Them Adidas either.
Dominique Wilkins, what did he have? He had
Bro, they were bad.
Brooks.
They were bad.
He had Brooks.
Now I got a question, bro.
Okay, ask away.
Azalea Banks.
Oh my God. Oh, we getting everything today.
Yeah,
I like
touching
this.
everything.
I love it. What about her?
I don't like her.
I don't like her either.
She's still talking smack about Atlanta. She directed it towards DC Young Fly directly.
I think she's a wounded young lady, spoiled in her position and doesn't recognize, really, what she's actually capable of doing. She should humble herself and really, just chill. Like she's a talented person, but she tweets more than her talent. So we don't even know what you do besides make a bunch of noise and be, loud and obnoxious and sensitive. And she's the queen troll, and then somebody trolls her and she gets upset. It's just like,
She got trolled at the, Wildin' Out. Weren't you there, DC?
Yeah, no, I wasn't there when they were filming that specific episode. I had left earlier, but yeah, it was just bad at Wildin' Out.
You can't be sensitive, man. You can't crack on people, their looks, or the way that they act, and then somebody crack on your looks and you cry.
And you cry.
Come on now.
Lash out on the entire city. So,
Come on,
Mr. Isaac Hayes III, what do you have personally going on?
Ooh, lots. Actually, in the city of Atlanta, Monday, August 20th is actually Isaac Hayes' Day. So they're honoring my dad at City Hall with a proclamation. It's going to be a great day. We're going to celebrate.
You're going to be there, of course.
I'll be there. The
You'll
family,
be there to accept it for
yeah, and my family, all my family's coming down. It'll be a day to celebrate my dad. My dad lived in Atlanta for over 20 years. He lived here longer than, the only other place was Memphis where he grew up, but he lived in Atlanta the second most, longest that we always grew here. And I grew up here. I got in Atlanta when I was 3 years old, so I've been here for a long time.
Gotcha.
So that's it.
What high school did you go to?
I went to North Atlanta. It was North Side. It was half North Side, half North Atlanta, so it switched like halfway in between. So
What college did you attend?
I didn't go to college.
You didn't?
No, I'm an entrepreneur.
Wow.
I got a
Now,
job.
Isaac Hayes, the second of your daddy. I mean, I ain't going to college.
Understand.
No, I got a job. I went and got it. My parents made me get. I went and got it. I always wanted to work though. But I went and got a job, and then I was trying to figure out really what I wanted to do, whether I wanted to produce or design. Honestly, what I'm doing right now is I'm building an app. Can't tell you what it is, but it's coming. It'll be coming.
Well, when you premiere the app, you
have to come
back.
I'm not. You know what? It'll be out, but I'm not gonna let nobody. I'm gonna let people know I did it. I just wanted to be. I just wanted to be, but it'll be a different. It'll be it's a different conversation. I'll say that I'll bring a different conversation.
Is it in the social media field?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Of course. Right? There's nothing else I probably wouldn't do. You know what I'm saying? So, getting into tech is something that I've always wanted to do, and I have an opportunity to do it. And I
Usually the highest return too.
Yeah, and it moves pretty quick. These things blow up pretty quick. And you know what? It's so funny because my goal is to really change the culture of Atlanta and change the city of Atlanta. And to do that, it really takes billionaires to do that. You really have to be a billionaire. If you really want to make really good, if you want to stop gentrification and you want to build affordable housing and you want to make sure that Atlanta has the media that it wants, you really have to be the kind of guy like, all right, well then I'll make a BET or I'll buy BET and move it to Atlanta.
Yeah.
So
Essence need to be here, just like you said.
Yeah.
BET, Ebony, yeah.
All of them.
Jet magazine, I remember that.
Bring them all, because you know what's so funny? The thing that they don't understand is imagine the conversation and the attention that could bring to a mayor's race and a governor's race being in Atlanta.
Yeah.
The media attention.
Abrams
has to go out right now. She does press, but if those magazines and those media outlets are here, you can do specials. You can do so much content.
She could stop at BET.
Right.
And do a run.
Do a whole.
Because the other candidate ain't gonna go over there.
Right. And a way to reach people that the other candidate can't reach and talk to an
crazy.
audience that you can't. So it's like we're missing out on a lot. So the billionaire's mindset is what I say we have to start having. So even those people that are multimillionaires in the city, we have to start to have a billionaire's mindset so we can really affect change. Because
it starts with some meetings, right?
Yeah. No. It just starts with some ideas.
Okay.
I always say ideas are the best, man. There's $1 billion in this room right now. There's like $100 billion in this room right now, right? But it's in the form of the next great idea, the next app, the next song, the next recipe, the next script, the next clothing brand. It's just you have to pull the money out of the air. That's really what it is. And I've been so used to doing that as a songwriter. You just apply that to your life. You just pull it out of the atmosphere. It's billions in this room right now. Just pull it out. You have to manifest your wealth in a way that's like, all right, cool. Just think about it, and it'll come to you.
Salute.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you, brother.
Just like that, man.
We're gonna have you come back.
Of course.
Yes, that's a must, man. Don't go nowhere. Don't touch that dog. Keep it locked right here where you got it at.
Street Level Vibe.